Hey there everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cyan, and today I wanted to try something completely different from anything I've ever done before on this channel, and that is to record podcast style. That's why I have my microphone that I use for music recordings in my hand right now. And I thought it would be fun today to talk about a topic that affects everyone in a way, and that is talking about confidence. And one tip that I learned that my mom told me when I was in high school that has pretty much followed me until now. And it's one trick that has led me to be able to walk into any space confidently and be able to face any criticism with an understanding of who I am and how haters' words don't really resonate. I take criticism very well, and I think it's because of this tip that my mom told me. Basically, here's my story. When I was in high school, in freshman year, the summer right before, I started my first YouTube channel, and it was a very obscure thing to do. I was definitely, I think, one of the only people at the time at my school that was into video stuff, that was into recording, was a fan of YouTubers, and that was definitely considered a little weird. I went to a very traditional, private, Christian school, so everyone kind of followed along a very familiar path, and that all changed, of course, as people grew up, but when I was a freshman, that was definitely something that kind of stuck out. I also made music, so I was very inspired by Melanie Martinez growing up, and I did a couple of songs called Plush Toy Zombie and Wind Up Toy and Jill in the Box. And those were songs that I did in freshman year, and as you can tell, those are all toy themed. They were all the bubblegum pop style, and yeah, that was definitely just different. And I had music videos associated with all of those things, and that was really cool. And that was cool to me, and I knew in my heart personally that I was really enjoying what I was making. I really loved the videos that I was making, and I was really proud of the people that I followed and the YouTubers that I really, really liked. And I wasn't afraid to share that with people. And I don't even know anymore if people were talking about me behind my back. I always had it an inkling hindsight. In hindsight, I looked back and I felt okay, I feel like people must have discussed about me and my weird music behind my back. But whenever someone made a comment about Plush Toy Zombie, it's kind of weird. Our mascot at school is a wildcat. We don't have a plush toy zombie. That was one of the lines. And I was yeah, no, I was making it as a metaphor for who we are on the outside, who we are on the inside. We're kind of zombies. And I knew that there was a message behind what I was putting out. And I knew that I had a good understanding of the stuff that I was putting into the world. And it doesn't matter at that point if someone comes and criticizes it as strange or different or weird, because I have confidence in the fact that I put it out with a message, if that makes sense. And I put it out with an intention, and the intention is being met. And so if another person doesn't really get that intention, their criticism doesn't really matter at that point, if that makes sense. So all of that to say that for me, confidence is not about feeling like you're the best or feeling like you're number one or feeling you've got all the energy on you when you walk into a room. It's not that at all. It's definitely mostly about, at least for me, self-assurance and good introspection and knowing who I am, and being very aware of my positives and my flaws, and actively making those aware to myself. Let's say, for example, someone wants to talk about your hair. They're your hair's different, your hair's weird. I have big curly hair right now. It's obviously in a bun, but it's cool. I know that my hair is cool. I really love it. I put a lot of effort into it. And let's say someone comes up to you and is like, your hair's kind of weird. Like, what do you do? Like, why is it so fluffy? Why is it so poofy? Then that criticism is like, okay, yeah, that's you and your opinion. So the advice that my mom gave to me when I was in high school about kind of deflecting rumors, deflecting people being mean to you, deflecting any type of negativity that comes your way is this. Let's say, for example, there is a huge rumor going on about you because it was your best friend's birthday party and you didn't show up. And now everyone's making up horrible stories about why you two had a falling out and everyone's on your best friend's side, when in reality, you were just out of town for a college visit and you had already planned to meet up later. Anyways, someone confronts you with that rumor and is like, yo, why are you such a bleep? And you're like, okay, where's this coming from? And they're like, well, you didn't show up to your best friend's party, so why are you like that? And at that point, you have to self-reflect and be like, well, I am not that person that they are describing. And none of the things that are going around outside of me as a person are true. And I know that within myself, and the person who is involved in the situation knows that within themselves. So all these things that are floating out in the world have no relevance to me and cannot affect who I am and how I see myself, because the words that they're saying have no ground. So in that case, you're like, okay, whatever, there is a false thing that is being said about you that you're self-aware about and you know is false. So it cannot affect you. Now, let's say that you purposefully didn't show up to the birthday party because of any reason, and you acknowledge and you know within yourself that it was kind of petty of you to not reach out to your friend and tell them that you weren't going to show up. In that case, someone might confront you with that same rumor and say the same things about you, and now you're being told something that you are already self-aware about. You're like, okay, they're calling me petty, they're calling me immature for letting something get in between our friendship, and I acknowledge that. So you can now take what they're saying and apply it to yourself and be like, you know what, that's true, and I'm going to take this as a learning opportunity. And if they're saying it's true and you're like, yep, that's true, guess what? It still can't affect you, because honestly, they're like, blah, 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 blah about you. And you're like, well, I already blah, 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 blah about me to myself. So I already know these things are going on. I've already accepted it. I already know what I'm going to do about it. So what you're saying and what's happening on the outside world still doesn't really have an effect on how I see myself and my own self-worth. So that's the advice that I'd been given when I was in high school by my mom, and it's honestly stuck with me all throughout my years, all until now, all throughout college, and it helps me be able to walk into a room knowing who I am myself. I know that I'm not the funniest person in the room, and I know that I don't have to be, and I don't let that affect who I am. I know that I'm not going to be the most energetic and engaging person in the room, but I know that I'm a great listener. I know that I'm going to sit there. I know that I'm going to be engaged. And so those are what I'm bringing to the table. I don't have to be everything. I don't have to be the top. I don't have to see myself as the best in order to be confident. I just have to know this is who I am, and I feel really good about who I am, and I know what I'm offering. And in that way, you become confident. And that's how I think people have been able to look at me and see how I present myself in spaces. And they're like, oh, wow, like she's very confident. I wish I was that confident. Well, here is me explaining how I got to be that way and the advice that I was given and some examples of what brought me to where I am now. So to summarize my points, it's kind of twofold. The first is self-reflection, being self-aware, knowing your pros, knowing your cons, knowing what is wonderful and awesome about you and acknowledging that, as well as knowing where you could grow, what your flaws are, and also equally acknowledging those. And taking that and bringing that into the spaces you go to, and knowing what is true about what people are saying about you and knowing what is false about what people are saying about you. Taking that in and still taking criticism, but also knowing that those words and what they're saying is never going to have a direct effect on your own self-worth and your own self-image and how you perceive who you are. I hope that this makes sense. I know that I rambled a little bit. I've never done a sit down vlog in this way where I didn't plan anything at all. So I hope that the point came across, and I hope that it helps you. And I'd love to hear about how you're feeling. What are some amazing qualities that you know that you have? So if there's something that you're proud of about yourself, make sure to let me know in the comments below, and we can all revel in our own wonderful traits that we are very self-aware about. I'm going to be continuing our regular programming of videos throughout this whole month and throughout February and all throughout the year. So if you want to stay up to date with that, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also like this video to let me know that you like this style of content, and let me know in the comments below along with your great traits. And I hope you all have an amazing day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.